It is a wonderful Wednesday here in the lovely state of Arizona, and I feel blessed to be a real estate agent. How about you?
Woohoo!
Woo-hoo. Good morning, Mara. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Eileen. How are you? Good morning, Miss Eric.
Good morning.
So, how many of you actually took some time yesterday and the day before, being that it was the first days of the month, and refilled out a new 411? Track your goals, track your progress, grow your success. So, really need to put those out in front of you every day, and I think that's super important. Is when your goals are written down, they become real, and when they're in front of you every day, they become a guiding factor in the things that you do. And then you get to ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now taking me closer to my goal or pushing me further away? Because there is no standing still. Your goal's a moving target, so should you be.
I love the calculator they have in my KW under the report section, and it really helps you tweak it a little and try to see what needs, and it even does your expenses, and it works really good. I love that.
Yeah, it goes back to that saying we've been talking about for weeks and months now, is being extremely realistic of where you're at, knowing every moment where exactly you stand in the equation, and being unrealistic about where you want to go. This is going to be paramount for anyone's success, is having a guiding plan. Very, very few, limited, very select, if any, successful people got there by happenstance. Like, they're like, oh, boom, I'm successful. It's the Edison effect. 10,000 failed experience, one light bulb. If you had stopped 9,999, where would we be? We'd be in the dark. Not saying that somebody else wouldn't have invented it, but wouldn't have been an Edison thing. So get your goals written down. If you need some help identifying and how to make a real smart goal, give me a call. I got no problem talking to you about that. Just make sure they're smart. You want to be able to measure your goals. They have to be attainable. They have to be time bound. So you got to have a system and plan to get there, and let's take it in bite-sized chunks. If my dad was here, like he typically is in the morning when I'm working from home, because he just knows that I'm where I'm at and likes to hang out, he would whisper in my ear, how do you eat an elephant? Who knows the answer to that?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. No matter how big the goal is, we can break it down into manageable chunks. And if I told you you needed to make 10 phone calls today and talk to 10 people today to hit your financial goal, would anything stop you? Would anything get in your way of making those 10 phone calls? Do I need to be the one to tell you to make those calls?
No.
No, you should be able to look down at that goal sheet, look in the mirror, and have it written up on the mirror, wherever it needs to be, and just know, for me to hit that goal, this is what I need to do. Your 411 is going to be that breakout where you're looking at it at a 7-day level. Take it granular. Look at it by day, by time frame. In the morning, I need to do this every day to be successful. I was once told that I needed to make 100 phone calls a day to be successful. I thought that was a massive goal until I made 100 phone calls and made $200,000 that year. I look back and say 200 phone calls, I probably could have doubled my income. It's an amazing thought when you could see your actions don't linearly affect your outcome. We are in a business where we can take off. Yes, Ms.
And just on that piece, if you haven't done it, it's a super simple, easy. Is it DT, D2? Anyway, it's the letters. If you just do the letters every week of your database, it comes out super simple. So if you have a small database, it's not that many people, and then you need to go create a few more people possibly. Otherwise, you're just building those relationships, but it's super simple. So kind of that smart, reasonable, attainable goal thing. The DTD2 is awesome.
So those of you who don't know, on our Facebook page, if it's still there, let me pop over and check on it. I put up the DTD4, DTD2 schedule, whatever you want to look at. If you have a smaller database and you want to do it 4 times, then DTD4 is call them every 4 weeks. You call them 4 times a year. A DTD2 is 2 times a year. So the schedule.
DDT2 is 4 times a year. It's 2 letters every week, but it goes 4 times a year.
That's right. The smaller one.
The 4 one is like every month. If you want to call your whole database every single month, you do. That was the way they did it in Bold Pivot, so that you would do like 4 letters a week or something crazy like that.
That's what my brain's getting triggered on. So yeah, we put up a schedule for that so that you guys had the letters. And it's super easy. And it keeps you from just going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It actually pairs the letters that are statistically more likely to have balance to them. There's going to be a ton of S's, not a whole lot of Q's.
Right. So this week, I'm in June, is S and U.
So
this week.
Success begins with you.
Yes. So S and U is this week, because at the end of June, you should be done and it starts over, because that would be your second quarter.
If you need that, you can get it from Bold. I think I have a page that I can put into the chat once we get a role play going. It gives me a second. Also on our Facebook page, under the announcements is a little infographic that's on there. It just lines it out, makes it pretty easy for you guys to follow. There is never a reason to not call somebody. Like, I talked to them last week. I don't. And true to life story happened to me this weekend. I get a Facebook tag from my sister's best friend from high school in a post, and the post is looking for a realtor in Marana. You know, those posts on Facebook, we're all like jumping at the bit, and 9,000 realtors are coming out of the woodwork, and the dude next door you didn't know was a realtor is like, yeah, I can help you out. Well, I got tagged by my sister's friend, Jessica, and I went to high school with Natalie, the lady that was looking directly. And I pull out my cell phone. I've got her phone number. I text her. We had talked a week and a half ago. And in a week and a half, she had forgotten that her and I had already started a conversation about real estate, and then was on Facebook one day, just Facebook trolling. I need a realtor from Marana. So even if within a week, you could lose a client lead like that because it just happens to skip their mind. So bad on me for not being top of mind, frame of mind. But I reached out to her and said, hey, realtor here. I can help. She's like, oh, damn, I'm so sorry. I forgot. It's okay. It's my fault. What are we looking for? And start the transaction, start the interaction, and get things moving. So even if you talked to them a couple of days ago, call in and check out. Things change. Follow your systems. They're there for a reason. Does anyone have just struggled with the DTD2 calls or struggle with a sphere of influence call? Why is that, Miss Emily?
I hate phone calls. I hate making phone calls. They're scary and I don't want to do them. No, I really, really struggle. Eric is the stalwart on, I've got to make my contacts every single day. And so it is. I mean, so like my goal, even though, quote unquote, we're mega agents or whatever. My goal this week, or my 411, was like, okay, for 2 days this week, and only 2 days, I'm going to do my daily dozen, which for me is 8 calls, 2 notes, and 2 pop buys. And that's all I do. And so yesterday I got through like about 4 of my phone calls, and all of them had been left messages. So I'm like, screw this, I'm texting. So I texted the next 4, and I got more reaction out of the text anyway, and I got a listing appointment. So anyway, I'm not saying that phone calls are bad. I just struggle with them personally, and then half the time I leave messages. So you do you, but I struggle with phone calls. Not that I don't have a script, it's all in my head. It's a head game for me.
Right. Why do you force yourself to make the calls though?
Oh gosh, because I have out-of-state tuition to pay in August, so $20K motivates that I have to go spend in August. So yeah.
So it's part of the strife. You got to do it to get where you want.
You got to, yeah. What you focus on expands. So I need money for August, and gosh darn, that's going to be phone calls.
So let's focus on the solution, not the problems here, right? The problem is your inability to pick up a cell phone or an office phone that you still have one.
Nope, it's the cell phone. And
I've
actually,
heard
I've
this
been
before.
making FaceTime calls instead of just regular calls if they have Apple phones, just because I need that face-to-face contact. Because usually my contacts were all just go do pop-bys and go pop by to people and just say hey and give them something and say, hey, I'm giving you something, so therefore sometime you'll give me something. And anyway, so I do a lot of FaceTime calls, which means you have to be dressed for work, people.
if you want
or at
to
least
be
from here up.
Right. No cutoffs, guys. No cutoffs. No belly shirts, Larry. Looking at you. So that being said, let's jump into a role play. I want to hear a forward call from you guys. This is really good training for your brain. In normal conversation, being able to elicit information is going to be paramount to your success. And finding anchor points, finding rapport topics is not difficult. All you have to do is ask questions. Not just asking questions, what kind of questions?
Open-ended, being interested.
Open-ended questions. Thank you, Mara. I love that part, being interested. We focus on them more than we focus on us. Be more interested than you are interesting. You will gain more appreciation. Who wants to give us a run? You guys need a script. We have them all listed online. All the pivot scripts are on our 1KWSA resource page. I put the Ignite scripts up there. Yes,
we're
ma'am.
Doing forward. Dan, is that what we're doing, forward?
Yes, ma'am. Give me a forward sandwich. I want multiple points.
Okay, I'll be an agent. I'll do it.
Okay.
But I need some help.
Who wants to be my
Greg,
client?
you're always good. What are you doing, Greg?
No, I don't want Greg to do it. He's too agreeable. Let's go, Emily.
Give me a hard. Oh, Emily. Yeah, let's try Emily.
All right. I'm all answers.
All right, so I'm gonna call you. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi there. This is Angela at Stratton. How are you doing today?
Good, Angela. How are you?
I didn't mean to say Stratton because this is more of a, I already know this person, correct? Sorry to go out of script. I already know
That's
you.
all right. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to say Stratton. Hi.
Yeah, we just had coffee last week since all the coffee places are
Yeah.
open and we can sit everywhere and drink and talk to each other.
Hey, Emily, what's going on? How are you?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. I'm just out getting a little exercise because I have to. It's what the doctor always
Amen.
says.
Amen, sister.
Yeah. So how was your week so far?
It's been a difficult week. I went on a Prolon fast mimicking diet for 5 days, eating nothing but, dried powdered soups and little bars. And so it's been tough because I've been hangry.
Yes, ouch. That sounds like that hurts a little bit. How is your daughter? I know you said that she had a little bit of a cough. How is she doing?
She's doing much better. It's been allergies, so I've convinced her that nasal spray works, and it does. So she's been snorting that nasal spray, and now she can breathe.
Impressive, because I can't snort that stuff to save my life.
Oh, me neither, but I got her to do it. So I must be a good coach. I can a good mom. I can get her to do it that I won't do.
You were talking about your job the last time when we had coffee last week. You were saying that your boss was kind of had some expectations for you, and you were like worried that you weren't going to be able to get it done. How did you do?
Oh, knocked it out of the park. So yeah, you give me a carrot and I'll go get it. But it was tough. He's not a nice guy. So I'm always looking for new opportunities.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's kind of nice because I'm being in real estate, I'm my own boss. So I can only complain about myself, obviously.
Unfortunately, he's my husband. So,
Ooh. Yeah. You have to be careful, right? Yeah, it's been kind of busy out here. We're just running around constantly, 7 days a week. Just,
that's got to be exhausting.
It can be, but what I love about real estate is you work at your own pace. If I want to make a lot of money, then I work all the time. If I want to make a little bit of money, then I slow down a little bit. But
There you go.
you were telling me that one of your coworkers was thinking about buying a house. Is she thinking about it still?
I haven't talked to her. COVID's kind of kept us apart, so I see her on Zoom meetings and kind of say hey, but haven't really mentioned that or asked her about that.
Well, if you do see her, you know, if you can just throw me a bone, I'd love to be able to take 15 minutes and just talk with her. I'll take her to Starbucks, buy her whatever cocktail she'd like.
Sounds good.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're doing good. It's so nice to talk to you, and let's meet up for hey, let's go out for some Chinese food next week. How about that?
Sounds delish.
Okay.
Name the day and time, and I'll see you there.
All right. See you then.
All right. Bye, Angela. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome. Bye.
Good job. Nice and rounded, right? With a setup of a second interaction. Are you going to take every one of your clients to Chinese lunch, dinner?
Some of them, yes, I might, because I love.
Only the super friendly ones. Come on.
Thank you.
I have a coworker that needs a house to be sold. She needs me.
I do.
Yeah. Well, it's
What's a
good that you guys-
$25 meal? Shoot, if I can get a commission off of it, nah, that's nothing.
Nah, you pay more for leads from Zillow. Little jab there. I like that when we're asking for business, it's non-forced, you know. I love the question, who do you know? Who do you know that's looking to, you know, get into something different? Who do you know that's looking for a bigger house? Who do you know that's looking for a smaller house? Who do you know that's moving to Tucson?
And right now, a great question that I've actually gotten some response on is, hey, if you have any questions about what real estate's doing right now, I mean, everyone's kind of up in the air, or if you know people that are considering to buy, sell, or invest, I'd love to get them on a Zoom call next week. I'm having an open forum about questions about this. So if you can give some something back to them, as in, you know, I'm giving this free little workshop, or, you know, just kind of a Q&A. And sometimes I get 2 people, and sometimes I get 10, and sometimes I get crickets. It's all good.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only way we're going to, for me, I feel like the only way I'm going to get business is to always give a little bit, give something. You know, like if I go to a buyer's appointment, it's really not a big deal if I just swing by Starbucks and grab them a little refreshing drink or something while we sit there for our little meeting. You know, just a little something to, I don't know, hopefully they'll remember my kindness, and then they'll do business with me. It worked this time because I got the buyer, so.
That's good. You know, being different, it gives you the leverage of not only the interaction you have during the time, it also stands above in that law of reciprocation where you're giving of something. Like Emily said, you're giving of, you know, grace, time, effort. You know, that's why the client events are so paramount for building loyalty and longevity in your client, because you're giving of something that you're not anticipating anything in back, and so they feel like there's a social deficit they're paying forward. Yeah. So always come from contribution. That's one of our core tenements, is always coming from contribution. It doesn't mean monetarily. It doesn't mean you have to buy them a drink or a candy bar or an ice cream cone, whatever, what have you. You have to come from a giving nature. Give information. Give more than it's expected of you. Give of your time. Give of your grace. Give of your caring. And you'll be miles ahead of that super staunch, crusty realtor who's been in the business for 45 years and all of their clients just use her because that's what they know. So the moment that one of those clients is opened up to your world, where you've got Larry that's, you know, giving all of his time and energy and making you feel like you're $1 million, are you ever going to go back to somebody that just happened to just run the transaction? That's the difference between a functionary and a fiduciary. Someone that just does the deal, high fives you, thank you for the money, good day, I'll talk to you in the next 10 years when you need something. Hey, if your friends are looking, have them call me. Versus the agent that skid into the closing table with you, that still had dust and smoke coming off their knees from all the battle they got you through, and making sure that everything was delivered on time and as promised, and made you feel like you didn't have to do anything because they handled everything. They shouldered the weight of the entire transaction. Plus they got you a little, card that says welcome home as soon as you walk in. And they called you the next week and just said, hey, how was your first week? They called you a month later. How was your first month? Hey, 6 months later. Hey, new homeowner. You've almost been in this house 6 months now. How are you loving it? Call them in a year. You want to start setting up some real deep referral networks. It all comes from contribution. It all comes from caring. And you feel good when your clients look back and say, and they ask questions about your life. They ask questions about what's going on in your world, and they pay attention to you. That's when you know you've got them. And keep them, hold them, love them. The only way to build a big business in this world is to have retention. Repeat and referral business needs to be 60 to 70% of your business, if not more. So, how do you ask for referrals? When do you ask for referrals? You're muted, Miss Larry.
Yeah, I said always.
Always and forever.
Always and
Whenever.
forever. Every conversation, every message is pretty much tagged with, it's included in a sentence, so it's part of the diatribe, if you will. But it's always ending with, and anybody else, you or anyone hey, are you doing, or what's happening with you? Are you or anyone that might be, that you hear talking about real estate? Well, let me know.
Exactly. Get used to that sentence, guys. Hey, Greg, now that you're in a real estate transaction, your RAS, which is your reticular activating system, is going to be firing off about house stuff. You're going to hear people all the time now talking about real estate. And when you do, could you do me a favor? Only if you're comfortable with it. Get me their contact information so that I can service them the way that I've serviced you. Sure. That's from the first minute do you guys meet. After the inspection, hey, Greg, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. The inspections went great. We're going to talk about this, and this. We'll get the report. We'll get it all done. And then just like we talked about before, as we're going through all of this, you're going to run into people that are looking for real estate or have questions about it, because now that you're buying a house, I'm sure they're going to be asking you how things are going. And if you could do me a favor, only if you're comfortable with it, get their contact information for me so that I can help them the way I've helped you. At the closing table, Greg, high five, congratulations. I'll meet you at your house later on today to get you some keys. Who's the first person you're going to call and tell about it? Yep. Do me a favor, have them start looking for people to send my way, because the best thank you is a referral. I call them making cheerleaders, mobilize the forces. That's one of my favorite scripts is, could you do me a favor? Small pause, because you usually get a head nod, and they're like leaning in. Only if you're comfortable with it. So they back out like, oh, it's going to be a scary thing. Get their contact information so I can help them out the way I've helped you. Oh, that's not that bad. It gets you a lot more ingrained than just going, hey, Ms. Marna, thank you so much for choosing me as your realtor. I really appreciate it. If you got any friends or family that are looking for houses in the future, would you please have them call me? And then if you do it multiple times in your transactions, multiple times in all the engagements that you have, and stay consistent with your follow-up, you're going to gain a lot more referrals that way. You're going to create mind share. You're going to create a powerful business, definitely a business worth owning. Hey, 5-6 more minutes left. What do you got for us, guys?
Dan, I had a quick sort of testimonial.
Yes, ma'am.
I had gone ahead and subscribed to the AM cards that they pitched us a while back. AM card. They did it at Bold, and then they did it another time. And I was like, okay, $39, no setup fee a month. But it's $2 a card. So I thought, that's a little expensive. So during Bold Pivot, when they said, what expenses do you have? And I have hardly any in real estate. I was like, this is the one thing I'm paying for every month, and I haven't used it yet because it's a pain. So I use Leverage. I use my teenage daughter to input the rest of my addresses in my neighborhood. I had put about 50 in. She put out another 50. So it's 102 people I sent to. And this week they all got them. And my neighbors have been calling me and sending me cards saying thank you. So that's pretty cool. I've only lived here about a year and a half, and I had held off because I didn't want to offend anybody, and I knew there was another realtor in the neighborhood. I made sure not to send her a card because that's what you guys recommended not to have. Whoever's in your neighborhood that's a realtor, because they'll like tear apart your piece and report you or something if anything's wrong. So didn't send to her, but sent to all the other neighbors. Anyway, we've had some really nice conversations. And like I said, last night, my very next door neighbor that I don't know that well, I just kept asking them questions and found out a ton of stuff about them. So it was pretty cool.
Nice share.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great job. So you're coming,
you know,
coming being different. When was the last time you guys got a handwritten card or something that looked like a handwritten card saying thank you for being awesome? Like, that's huge.
yeah, it said thinking of you, and you know, I gave my little blurb. If you need anything in this unusual time, maybe we could visit, you know, via phone or across the yard. And anyway, I put a picture inside because you can put something on every side of that card. That is the cool thing about theirs. So inside, I put the picture of our entryway, so they knew I was from the neighborhood. And anyway, and then another woman said, "Hey, I have sad news. My husband passed away about 6 weeks ago from cancer, and I didn't know." And so the other night, I brought her fresh baked cookies, and we had a nice talk out on her patio. And anyway, it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's cool. I love those.
I got another one for you from AM Cards. So my client, they bought the house up in the Tucson Mountains on the west side, is surrounded by open lots, and he was constantly talking about, you know, gosh, you know, this lot behind me. God, what if somebody builds here? I don't want to walk out my backyard and have their front porch looking in my backyard. Blah blah blah. I said, why don't you buy it? And he's like, find out who owns that lot. So going through all the systems, you don't get a phone number through the recorder's office. They don't have the phone numbers for people, or they don't have email addresses for people. But guess what? You got a home address. So I said, so for the two lots adjacent to my client's property, I sent them an AM card, and it was like checking in with you. Hey, my client just bought this property. You've got the empty lot next door. He's potentially interested in acquiring your lot. Would you be interested in selling? Both of them responded.
That's awesome.
And they're lots that are in the $95,000 to $125,000 range just for the land. Could turn into two more deals.
Tucson Mountains is good stuff.
Nice quality cards, and you can send gifts with them, so that's pretty cool. Again, leveraging, if you don't have the time to run out and give gifts, you can literally add them to a card and just ship them. I think, it was when Teresa Barnaby was teaching us that one time for quarterly meeting. That's when he offered. She was like, people, follow up with your clients, do this.
Not only that, use Command to your benefit. Get all your addresses in Command. Get used to using their marketing tools, or Canva will make it a 6x9 postcard that's double-sided. And then just send those posts to your database. You know, hey, happy 4th of July. If you want to take it to the next level, go partner with an AC company, an HVAC company. Get them to give you a discount code. Larry the House Guy's discount code. 10% off your seasonal service. Just use the discount code radio, whatever. And then put that on. Hey, thinking about you guys, happy 4th of July, because you're one of my friends and I wanted to share this special deal with you. My friends over at Picture Rocks Heating and Cooling said that I can give you 10% off. Just use my code. Or just have a little coupon in the back of it and have them help pay for some of that. It's advertising that you're doing for them, giving you a reason to send them a piece of mail, giving a nice 6x9 postcard. It's high gloss, it looks beautiful, and it gives you one of your touches for the year. That 36 to convert is a real thing. 3 touches a month. You start losing, what am I going to do? What am I going to send? You got 2 right away, right? Happy New Year, happy birthday. Happy 4th of July. Like, that's all you get, 2 happies, but you have to throw some value in them, a couple of them.
One of my more opened online newsletter things was I sent a map of the Tour de Tucson map that showed where street closures would be. And people who never click on my newsletter clicked on that because it's like, oh, that's useful. I need to know where not to drive this weekend.
I would click on that,
yeah,
without a doubt. So great stuff, guys. Start thinking, start really making your brain focus on how do I leverage my database now to gain more referrals, How do I gain market share? And how do I use the people that already like, know, trust, and love me to help me build my database? You don't do this on your own. This isn't a solo sport. You got to be social. You got to talk to people. You got to create cheerleaders and get them working for you. I know you guys have all heard one of those L's in the 3 L's, right? What are they?
What? Leads, leverage, listing?
Leverage, and listings and leverage, right? Leads, listings, and that third L.
Leverage.
Having your mom walk around business cards in the mall and hand them off, is that leverage? Having your son trained to give business cards out to people in the cutest possible manner, is that leverage? Having the people that you have sold properties to that know, like, and love your service rant and rave about you on social media, get them to gain some more leads for you, is that leverage? You don't need to do it on your own. I've got a client that sends me no less than 3 leads a month. He's a mobile mechanic and he loves me. The guy is weird as hell, but he's such a cheerleader. He talks to everybody, and everybody he talks to is like, hey, do you know anyone looking to buy or sell a house? You got to talk to my buddy, Dan. He's awesome. The only reason I know he talks to everyone is because I've gotten calls from realtors he's worked on their cars saying, I don't know what you did to this guy or how much you're paying him, but it's working. Create cheerleaders, and the only way you do that is giving exceptional service. Really genuinely care. So, all right, guys, all partners meetings at 9 o'clock via the Zoom link. Check your emails. I know David and the agent services have been sending out a bunch of stuff so much. No, it does not, Emily. Your logo looks good. It's reversed on your screen so that it doesn't screw with your hand motions and looking. I figured this out a couple weeks ago, and for everyone else, it looks normal. So.
Oh, another quick testimonial, because we've been making calls. My niece, who I hardly ever hear from, she sent me a referral this last week, and it's
Woohoo!
reaching out, so it works.
I like it.
In
Awesome,
Maryland,
guys. In Maryland, heck yeah. There's a high price point out there. So don't forget. Yeah, don't forget where you came from, guys. You got friends in other states and counties. You can still help them. Get that mailbox money. Pay for your cap and just referrals. How about that, right? Just making phone calls and getting money. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great day. Happy Wednesday.